All right, we're on page 13 in the journal. We're doing lesson 2.1, rational numbers. This is just a review. We will not have any homework today. So just a review, rational numbers, if it's a rational number, it can be written as a ratio that looks like a fraction where b cannot be 0. All right, and remember, you can pause this at any time and fill it in if I'm going too fast. Rational numbers is any number that can be expressed as a ratio of two numbers or written in the form of a fraction or a decimal. So a rational number, as we talked about a few days ago, are all of these numbers inside of the circle. There's just more, sometimes there's more specific names for them. So you have your whole numbers here. All right, and I wrote it again over here. You have your integers, are all of these whole numbers because this entire circle is inside the integer circle. And then you also have the opposites. Okay, so I put the whole numbers here by the integers and all of the opposites. And rational numbers, again, are all of the whole numbers, all of the integers, okay, all of the whole numbers, all of the integers, and then the fractions and decimals that we come into contact with, okay? Whether they be improper fractions or proper fractions. All right, remember, you can pause this if you need time to write it down. All right, so we don't just have Venn diagrams as circles, we can have them in any shape. All right, so we have whole numbers here, we have integers here, and then we have rational numbers here. Not very good places to label, but we do our best. So -4, okay, its opposite is 4, which would be a whole number, so it's going to be an integer. All right, it's going to be an integer in the integer circle, but it's also a rational number as well. Remember, all of these are rational. 6 8/10, since it's a decimal, okay, parts go outside in the rational circle. So these are just a rational, that's just a rational number. -2 8/10 is going to be a rational number. 1/2, and then we have 0 as a whole number. Okay, on this side we have whole numbers, and this is in a rectangle shape, doesn't matter what shape. This is integers, and these are rational numbers. All right, so -7, the opposite is 7, and that would go here, so -7 is going to go here. We have 1 is a whole number, it's positive. All right, so remember, 1 is a whole number, but it's also an integer and a rational number. So we're not going to put 1 in every box because this circle is inside of these circles already, so it would just be repetitive. 25 is a positive whole number. -2/3, so that's a fraction. Even though it's negative, we want to put negatives here always, but remember, if it's a negative fraction or decimal, like a part of a whole, it's going to be just a rational number. We have -4 2/10. And then we have 6/12. So those three are just rational numbers. So if you go on the back and you look at this Venn diagram, this is definitely something that you might see on the STAR test. Something like this, like asked this way. So we look and we have our whole numbers. We have our whole numbers, they're positive, and then we see this fraction. That's going to be in the wrong place, and we're going to put it outside with the rational numbers. And we look here, integers, the opposite would fit in here, so we know that's in the right spot. The opposite of -29 is 29, and that's in the right spot. And then we have -2.4, which needs to be out here. It's in the wrong spot. So number 1, which one is in the wrong category? It would be B. And number 2, the reason that 7/8 is in the incorrect place is because it's part of a whole. So it needs to be out here with rational numbers. So it's in the correct spot because it's a fraction and not a whole number.